Hello. This is my first proper video, I guess. I don't think the random story quest footage really counts as a proper video. So, hi. My name is Kai. I love all things Genshin, the overall lore, the gameplay mechanics and combat system, and just the game as a whole. And I thought for my first video I would do a little account showcase. I don't think my account's that great, but I don't care. And I thought I would just share it and then maybe in a few months' time do an update to see how it's progressed. First of all, you can see that I chose Ether as the sibling. I liked his design a lot more. I felt it looked more gender neutral compared to Lamine, and I'm very happy with that choice because I think Lamine fits the aesthetic as the Abyss sibling, or the quote-unquote evil sibling, you know? So I'm very happy with that decision. But let's get into it. We're gonna start right down here at the bottom, and then I'm gonna make my way up to the top. Just so we get my average, not very leveled characters out of the way before we get to the more higher up, better ones. First up is Amber. I think Amber's really sweet, but I didn't use her at all when I first got her. When playing on console, I didn't like the feel of bow characters. I really didn't like the charge shot playstyle at the time, so I completely dismissed her, and I feel bad about it because she has such a fun design. She's so sweet. I've got her old design on. I'm not the bigger fan of the white gloves. I prefer this one. For her weapon, she is sporting the prototype crescent. It is unleveled as well. Her artifacts currently on Wanderer's Troop. I'm not entirely sure how I want to build it. I'm thinking of either doing 18% 2-piece and Crimson Witch 2-piece, or full Wanderer's Troop set, but I am currently undecided. It'll just depend on how I start using her and her playstyle when I get around to leveling her. For Constellation, she is sitting at C1, which means for her charge shot, she will fire 2 arrows. Second arrow doesn't do as much damage as the first one, but it's extra damage, and her talents are at 111. Next we have Xinyan. I loved Xinyan in the event with her and Tartaglia. I thought she was so fun. I love her southern accent so much. And the overall rock and roll punk aesthetic that she has going on is really cool, and I wish they would bring out a claymore that looks like a guitar for her. Because I think that would be really cool. For her weapons, she is currently sporting the luxurious Sea Lord. In the future, I will probably change this either to the Snow-Tombed Silver or the... what is it called? This one, Skyrider Greatsword, because they both have physical damage bonus, and I'm going for a physical build with Xinyan. For artifact, she currently has Pale Flame. I'm working on a Pale Flame and Bloodstained Chivalry set for her. I do have a few good Bloodstained pieces that will eventually go to her. You'll see who they are on later. For Constellations, she's on C3. I got her and 2 constellations from the standard banner, and I got one of them from the event with Shiki Taisho, her and Tartaglia. Her talents are at 111, so she's not very invested in it at the moment, but that's okay. We'll get round to her. Yeah, I'm going for a physical build rather than a shield build, and that's it for Xinyan. Next we have Lisa. I didn't level Lisa at the start either because I wasn't a fan of catalysts either. I didn't like how it felt to play, and I didn't understand her skill. I didn't understand it at all, and and I didn't think it was worth leveling up a character like Lisa if I didn't like how she felt to play yet. I have used it. You will see the last two were also on 21. They earned a whole level by themselves, just being on an experienced team. But I leveled them up to 20 and then they earned the extra one. For her weapons, she currently has Favonius Codex. So it is R5, but it's level 1. Whoops. And for artifacts, Thundering Fury, Echoes of an Offering. This is very simple kind of build, and it will stay the same, just varying between more leveled up pieces, and Echoes of an Offering might change to a different 18% one. Her constellations are at C2. I got both of these on the standard banner in the same pool at the very beginning of the game, and I didn't understand how constellations worked, and I was very annoyed, and I was like, why did it give me a character I already have twice? This is useless. I have now since learned that constellations are not useless, but regardless, I have C2. Talents 111. Someone pointed this out, and I don't know who did it, but she has dead mom hair. In like a lot of media, this like side ponytail over the shoulder thing, a lot of dead moms have, which makes me concerned for her. And her backstory is very interesting. You know, being a part of the Sumeru Academia, how she got a vision. Overall, very interesting character, and I love her hat. I think it's very cool. Next is Kuching. I forgot who Kuching was, and when I got her, I was like, who is this? I have never seen this woman before in my life. I got her off the Hu Tao banner, and I'm actually happy I got her off the Hu Tao banner and didn't get Hu Tao, because I don't think I'll ever get Hu Tao. Not a fan, really. I like her character, I really don't like her playstyle, but I think Kuching's cool regardless. I do not own her skin. I would love to, but I personally just cannot justify spending the money on it. And I thought she had cat ears for the longest time, but it's just hair. But yeah, she is sporting the Cinnabar Spindle, the Albedo weapon from Shadows Amidst Snowstorms. It looks nice on her. This is the only reason she has it on. It looks nice on her, and I haven't built her yet, so it's not like she's doing any damage regardless. For artifacts, I'm still unsure of how I want to build her, whether I want to go with 2-piece Thundering Fury, 2-piece Attack, or Thundering Fury and Noblesse. It'll just depend on how I end up using her overall. Constellations I have none of. Talents, add 111, and that is it for Kuching. And now we get up to characters that are a little more raised. Not by much, but like a smidge. And we have Sweet Barbara here. Like everyone else, got Barbara from finishing the Mondstadt story quest. She has Thrilling Tales as her weapon, as it is a HP % weapon. I refuse to use this in damage showcases because every single time my setup is all over the place and the buff will just go to someone else, so I don't use it. But it's leveled up anyway for when I eventually do start using Barbara as a healer. She's at least got one thing already done out the way. Artifacts, she has no set bonus at the moment. Don't even know why she has artifacts on her because I don't use her. But I'm either going to go for 2-piece Ocean Hued, 2-piece Maidens, or 4-piece Ocean Hued. It depends on like the pieces I get and just overall. She will be a healer. I am not doing DPS Barbara. I mean, shout out to anyone who does DPS Barbara, like, good for you, but I'm fine with having Barbara just as a healer. She's at C1. I got the only constellation of her I have from the Ito banner, and talents are at 111. Overall, I like the church vibes from her, aesthetic-wise. I'm not a religious person, so I couldn't care less about that, but I think it's really cool. I love the cross motifs. Confused on how they would tie in to Genshin lore. Did Barbados have like the same fate as Jesus? Like, I want to know what's going on there with why they chose cross motifs when it maybe could have been changed to something else, but like, it works. It really works. I love the pigtail thing she has going on, the way it's curled. Reminds me of Mami from Puella Magi Madoka. If anyone knows that, Pain. That show is Pain. But it's really good. I recommend it. And that's it for Barbara. Not a lot going on with her. And then we have Best Boy Razor. I wanted Razor for so long. Since I finished his story quest, I was like, I want this kid so badly. He looks like such a sweet boy. I feel so bad for him and everything that's happened with the wolves. And then I got him when I got Toma, from Toma's Free Wish from his first ascension, and I was so happy. And then I didn't have the resources to continue leveling him up, so he didn't get leveled up, and he's kind of just sat here. Design-wise, I really like it. I love the hood. This is one thing you're gonna realize from me. I really love like hats and hoods on characters. I think it's really cool, and I really enjoy it. I think it just adds something more nicer, design-wise, and I think it's overall cool. The way he talks is so sweet. If you have him in your teapot, listen to his voice lines or look it up on YouTube. So sweet, so cute. Such a precious little guy. His weapon is Snow-Tombed Star Silver, not currently raised, but I have it. If you want to know how to get this weapon, search up the Dragon Spine Stone Tablet puzzle. It'll take you through all the locations for it, and ultimately like the chests at the end, and where you get this weapon for free, which is also craftable, I think. It might be, it might not be, I can't remember. At the moment, he currently has no set bonus. He only has a physical attack goblet on him. I am going to go for a 4-piece Pale Flame. And like, that's it for Razor. A physical build with 4-piece Pale Flame. His constellations are at C2. I got these very recently from the Ayaka banner. I'm going to talk about the Ayaka banner in a bit, because I have things to say about it. I have a story. But his talents are at 111, and that's it for him. Now we move on to Fischl, the princess in the
another universe and founded paradise.
For I, Fischl, the princess in the I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I don't know German. I tried to learn German. I couldn't make a lot of the sounds, so I stopped. I might continue just to learn to like read and write it and like listen but not speak, because I think language learning is fun. Fischl's design is so cool. I love it. I would love to cosplay her one day and get this kind of fit. I would wear this fit out, just going to get groceries. I would. I think it's really cool. She reminds me of Udao from Shugakara, if you know that show. Like, I'm going to, if I reference a character, obviously, you've seen, I've put it on screen. Just want to put that out there if anyone's just listening, so you can see and get what I'm talking about. Oh, if you want to know, sorry I'm jumping all over the place, but I just realized. She's at Friendship 7, Razor's at Friendship 8, Barbara is at Friendship 10. I know Fischl isn't Fischl from Flowers for Princess Fischl. I am aware of that. I am aware that her name is Amy, but I want to play along. I just want to believe. I want to believe it's like an Abyss situation with Child, and that stuff is real, okay? Because I just think she's so sweet. I want to indulge her in this make-believe and go, yes, you are Princess Fischl. I would call her by the full title if I knew Fischl in real life. The eye patch. I have a lot of questions. Where is her eye? Is she covering a healthy regular eye? Because surely that is not good for your eye to keep it covered constantly when it's perfectly fine. But that's it. That's it on Fischl's like design aspect, I think. I love it. I think it's really cool. She currently has Sharpshooter's Oath. It's a crit damage bow, even though it's a 3-star weapon. I kept it and refined it because it's a crit weapon. Eventually I will probably give her the physical damage craftable bow, and take this one off her. Artifacts. Currently at Thunder and Fury, Vermilion Hereafter. I will be switching to a physical build, whether that's a 2-piece physical, 2-piece attack, or 2-piece physicals. It just depends. I want to try the machine gun official team comp with Yunjin because I think that name is so funny. Her constellations are at 2. I got both of these off the Yai Miko banner. And her talents are at 111. Not too much to say. Should I mention what I want to I'm going to mention what I want to level up from people now. Amber, I want to get all of it up to 8. Jinyan, probably 8, 6, 8. Lisa, undecided, probably 6, 8, 6. Kuching, probably just all 6. I'm not sure if I like her playstyle yet. Barbara, 6, 8, 8. Razor, 8, 6, 8. And then Fischl, probably 8, 8, 6. I don't like how her burst feels. Like, I have played her a tiny bit and used her a little bit just to, get a feel for her playstyle. I don't like the whole flying around as Oz thingy, but it's whatever. Moving on to Rosaria. As you can see, I have Rosaria's old outfit on. I like this one a lot better. This one feels a lot more heavy, and I'm not a fan of this square part of the white. I feel like with the older one, it's really, her pale skin really ties it up, whereas it feels more blocky with this one, and I don't like it. Plus, I really like fishnets. I think they're fun. I own a pair and I feel so cool every time I wear them. So yeah, I don't know a lot about Rosaria, to be honest, but cryo characters really interest me with their vision, how they got it, and overall, like, trying to tie all the visions into the ideals of the Archon, like freedom for Animo, contracts, and I kind of associate like Geo with like immovable will, like kind of stubborn kind of thing. So I look at cryo characters and my first thought is the Saritsa still the goddess of love? Like, is that still her title? And then looking at cryo characters and seeing how that relates to the theme of love. I have a lot to talk about it, and I'll talk about it in a future video. I also thought she was really fun in the bartending event, but that's all I've really seen her in, plus like the beginning of the Albedo story. She's currently sporting the Dragon Spine Spear. I think this spear is really cool. I've been meaning to R5 it, I haven't got around to it. And her artifacts is currently just a 2-piece Blizzard Strayer. She might go on 4-piece. I don't know. I'm undecided on how to use her. I know people say that physical Rosaria isn't very good, but what if I just want to run her physical, What if that's just my goal for Rosaria? It's my business. Stay out of it. Her constellations are at C4. I think I got most of these from the Kokomi banner. I can't remember what other recent banner she was on, but I got her originally from the Kokomi banner the first time she ran, and her talents are at 111. My plan is probably just to get them all to 6, then figure out how I want to use her and level anything up further after that. Next up we have Sayu. Sayu's also at level 50. I think she's so fun. I love rolling around as Sayu. Think it's hilarious. The first time that I didn't know what I was doing in Genshin, I was just kind of like log in for like 20 minutes a day and mess around, and I just refused to read anything, so I would be so confused constantly. And I just remember trying out Sayu for the first time, and I was scream laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing ever that this character was rolling around, and I couldn't figure out how I'd done it, and I thought it was hilarious. And I spent like the whole 30-minute chunk that I allowed out of my day to play it, trying to figure out how to roll around as Sayu in the character trial. I still think it's hilarious even to this day. She has Favoni's Greatsword. It's between this and Rain Slasher, which I have R5 already 90'd. But I value energy recharge more at the moment in my teams than I do that extra bit of healing from the elemental mastery that Rain Slasher gives. Her artifacts are 4-piece VV. They're not very leveled up. She's currently sharing a set with Sucrose, and that's it for her artifacts. Not much is going to change from that aside from getting better pieces and leveling them up. Her constellations are at 2. Not much to say really. I think Z1 is like really good because it'll attack and heal characters at the same time, whereas your character needs to be within a certain HP threshold before it attacks, whereas this just bypasses it. Her talents are at 444. The plan is probably 688. Design wise, I love the whole hood tail thing. I would love this in like a huge jumper. I think it would be very cute and very fun to wear. But there's like not much else I have to say. I love the voice acting for her though. If we like go in and look, where is her skill?
Hey, gotta dash.
This one, I love this one.
Gotta dash.
I just think it's so cute, and
Poof, I'm out of here. Can't catch me. And the way I go.
and this one as well.
And the way I go.
I think it's very fun. She is also at friendship level 10. Next we have Yunjin. I chose Yunjin as my free character from the Lantern Rite. It was just between that and Chongyun. I don't care about constellations too much. I just want to collect all the characters at the moment. So I chose her because she was like the shiny new character, and the opera was amazing. I still listen to it frequently on Spotify. I think it's really beautiful, and I love the incorporation of culture into video games. I think it's a really cool way to continue a culture and a way to preserve it in a more modern format. Overall, her outfit is really beautiful. I've seen like all the traditional opera like are they called costumes? I think they'd be classed as costumes as well, like what they wear for their opera, and I love the way they've translated it into her design. I think it's beautiful. She is currently sporting Favoni's lance. There is no defense pole arm, so she has a recharge one. Her artifacts are currently 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dreams. This is not going to change. It's just going to say it's 4-piece Husk. Her constellations are at 0, and her talents are 111. The plan probably 668. I've heard that this talent is really good for Yoimiya and now Ayato. I am unsure of who else I would use her with, but I really like it. I think there may be more like normal attack focused characters, so I think she will be even like better in the future and more versatile. Next we have Jean. Jean was the second 5-star I got, and I got her off standard banner literally a day after I got someone else off the event banner. We'll go into like who that was later. I haven't really used her though. I do have her new design on here. I think it looks more elegant, more professional compared to her older one, and I think it's beautiful. I think she's beautiful. She's so pretty. Look at her. Is this not the most beautiful woman you've seen? We love a woman in power. She may only be the acting grandmaster, but who cares? Her story quest though, didn't quite enjoy, but like that's just my own personal preference. For her weapons, she's currently sporting Iron Sting. I started leveling this up for Kazuha. I don't know why, because who knows when Kazuha is getting a re-one, and if I'm actually gonna get him, because I'm kind of second guessing and probably not gonna save for him now, but we have the beginnings of a weapon for him. I'm thinking, you see, I've got 2-piece VV at the moment. Plan is either 4-piece VV Or what was the other one that people run Jean with? Is it Lava Walker? That really... Let me check. If we go... Do I even have any? Yeah, I do. Lava Walker increases damage against opponents affected by pyro by 35%. Yeah, so either just 4-piece VV or a Lava Walker 4-piece. If I get really randomly good lava pieces while trying to get Crimson stuff, and the plan is to run her as Sunfire Jean with Bennett. I don't really have like much else of a team I want to use with Jean besides from that. Her constellations are at C0, not 1, and her talents are at 1 on 1 at the moment. Plan is 6, probably 6, 6, 8, and then possibly 9 if I like it a lot. But that's it for Jean. I don't really have much else to say about her. Next up after Jean is Kujo Sara, and now we're up to our level 60 characters. We're slowly getting higher and higher. I think Kujo Sara is very cool. I don't know if she has does she have a hangout event? She doesn't. She should. I feel like I've seen her so much. Why does she not have a hangout event yet? Oh my. But yes, Kujo Sara. I got Kujo Sara on the Raiden banner. I think she's pretty cool. Didn't understand how she worked at first. I now get it. I've watched a plethora of videos about her and her kit. I understand how she works now. She's like Electro Bennett, but just for a buff. No healing. I don't know a lot about her. I think those wings that she just had on are really cool. And she's an interesting character. I really want to delve more into her lore and just like her whole story, see what she's about. I really hope she gets a hangout now so I can learn more about her. For her weapons, she's currently sporting the Hamayumi bow. I originally just leveled this up to compare it to Rust in terms of charge shots on a different character, but I like the bow. I don't think it has that high of a base attack at the end. We can check actually, I think I have enough to, yeah, 454. So the base attack is, nah, you can get higher base attack weapons. But yeah, her artifacts, she's currently on Emblem of Severed Fate and Noblesse. I don't use her very much, so I don't know what to put her on yet. I have tried her with other builds, like proper leveled up builds on a electro and attack set, and she did pretty good damage with her burst considering. But I think the plan is probably burst and electro damage or electro damage attack percent. I'm not sure if I really need the energy recharge on her. Again, it just depends on who I end up running her with. Most likely it'd probably be Raiden Shogun if I ever get Raiden Shogun. But that's it for Kujo Sara. Her constellations are at C2. This one is really helpful. C2 allows when you press her skill, there will instantly be one of the thingies you shoot on the ground already there. So I'm assuming that you can just press it, quickly switch to a character and get the buff that way, instead of having to waste time shooting it at the ground and whatnot. Her talents are at 446. The plan for her, probably 688. Depending, maybe end up being level 9 for this one. It really just depends on the overall teams I have, whether I can justify sinking even more resources into the buff or not. That's it for Kujo Sara. I really don't have a lot to say about her, but I think she's cool. Next we have Ningguang. I have never used Ningguang, and this is going to look so weird as we progress through looking at her, but I have her skin, got it for free with the Lantern Ride event. I think it's stunning. I really love the blue. I think it's really cool. I really love it. I don't really have much else to say about her though. Like, I didn't really care much for her in the the Archon quest. I did feel very bad for her about the Jade Chamber being used to deal with Osail, but she has a new Jade Chamber now. It's fine. Next, her weapon. She has Eye of Perception at the moment. I don't have very good options for catalysts. I really want Wedsith, but I don't have it. It'll just be when I get it, and if I never get it, I never get it. But currently that is her weapon. I switch out the catalyst weapons a lot with different characters if I want to try use them. Her artifacts currently Archaic Pectra and Vermilion Hereafter. Probably gonna go with Archaic and Noblesse. I'm leaning more towards her using her burst more than auto attacks because she stands still for her auto attacks. Like, she does not move at all. Like, I really don't like it. A lot of other Catalyst characters kind of a little jumpy and they move back, but Ningguang kind of just stands there, and I'm not a fan of that. Her constellations are at C2. Very nice. I don't have much else to say about that. And her talents are at 666. Now, I do not remember leveling up at Ningguang at all, but like 2 months ago, I went, let me see if there are any characters I already have materials for that I can raise. I went to check on Ningguang, and they were already 666, and I was shocked. I was like, what? Since when? But the plan, probably 6-6, and then her burst 8. And like, that's it for Ningguang. I really don't have much to say about her at all. Now we have Aloy. I think Aloy's cool. I like her. And she's leveled up because I had a bunch of the hypostasis drops purely just because I used to do co-op a lot with the Hotel main, and they would constantly be like, let's fight the cryohypostasis, and then my resin would be full and I'd be like, well, I'll just collect this boss, you know. Eventually I'll probably get someone who needs this. And then I went to put her on my daily commissions team, realized she wasn't very raised, so I raised her as much as I could with the boss drops that I had, which is surprisingly all the way up to level 60. I would have preferred if they used a taller method for Aloy. I've never played Horizon Dawn. Is that her game? I think that's where she's from. Don't quote me on that, but I do want to play it purely because I like her in this. I think she's cool. I would like to see what she's like in her actual game. She has her signature weapon as well. You got this free. I don't know if everyone got this or it was just PlayStation players. I couldn't tell you. I honestly don't know. But I don't use it very often. I will probably switch it out with like other bows because the effect only works on PlayStation. So it's kind of useless when you're playing on any other console platform. Her artifacts are currently at 4-piece Wanderer's Troop. The plan is 4-piece Blizzard Strayer, but there are just so many characters that demand that set that I haven't got enough for everyone yet. Constellations, she has no constellations, and if you just look, it says the time has not yet come for this person's corner of the night sky to light up. So Aloy has no constellations. She has a constellation, but you can't like unlock all the stars on it. And her talents are at 443. I want to talk about this one because like you throw the bombs and as they explode she will gain a stack. Once she gets 4 stacks, her like normal attacks will be converted to cryo damage. And she gains these stacks even when she's off field. And if your skill runs out before you gain all the stacks, you still keep the stacks, and when you throw out your skill again, it'll just continue gaining. It's not as bad as everyone made it out to be, and I really like it. She's really fun to play with. Xingqiu, that's currently who else I have on my like XP He's the other character I currently have on my daily commissions team, who I usually just use Aloy with. Like, you do get almost all the stacks for Aloy, pop Cincture's Burst, go back to Aloy, get the rest of the stacks, and like, things are frozen. And it's nice, it's good. She doesn't do a lot of damage now, but it's, regardless, still fun to play. So, that's it for Aloy. Now we have Yanfei. Yanfei is one of my newer mains. I built her because my friend has her triple crown, and I was like, well, I want to try Aloy now. If you have... That is a different character. Okay, let me say that again. My friend has her triple crown, and I went, well, if you've triple crowned Yanfei, I want to try Yanfei now. As you can see, she's up to level 70. Eventually I will get her up to level 80 because I enjoy the playstyle with her. I love the lawyer thing. I love how all her skill and burst lines are lawyer stuff. I did have to ask my mum. We were just hanging out, I'm playing, and I'm like, Mum, what is this? She's like, it's a legal term. And I'm like, okay, what's this one? It's a legal term. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And she's like, what? And I'm like, character's a lawyer, okay? You just wouldn't understand. But I think he's very fun. I didn't realize she didn't have ears. And I only realized this because I was drawing fan art and I needed a reference image for Yanfei. So I pop on here, I like zoom in to like look at her hair and stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute. Where are her ears? Like, does she technically have ears? Because that is just hair and a horn. Like, does she have little animal ears just under that hair? Is that hair and ear even though it looks like hair? Like, I have a lot of questions. And I want to know. I enjoyed her with the little teapot story where you like run around, help her out with something, and eventually you get the teapot. I thought it was fun. I thought she was cool. I did semi-rush through it because I wanted to do the fishing event, and that quest was in the way. But I enjoyed it regardless. For her weapon, she currently has Mappa Mare on at Refinement 3. This used to be Sucrose's weapon because it used to be the only 4-star catalyst I had, and I had to craft it because when I got Sucrose, I was like, I don't have a catalyst. Can I make one? And then I realized I could, and I was like, sick. But now it's Yanfei's. Her artifacts are on Wanderer's Troop. Wanderer's Troop build because I use her like melt and vaporize. Mainly vaporize more than melt because I can't find a cryo character that applies enough cryo to do melt. Her constellations are at C2. I would like to get the C4 for the little shield, Tank Fae, if you will. And her talents are at 766. I can't level them up anymore at the moment because I don't have any of her boss drops, and I like literally got Age Dahal like 2 weeks ago. I unlocked him like 2 weeks ago purely because I realized, hey, I don't have anything to raise Yanfei further than level 6. So that the plan for her is 888 all across the board because I really enjoy her and I am happy to put in that investment, and then potentially getting them up to 999. Now that we're up to higher characters, I will show you the like more in-depth of their stats. So as you can see, like there's attack and stuff. Then you come down, you've got crit rate is 52 with crit damage 97. I am learning to prioritize crit rate over crit damage for more consistency. Her crits still do hit very hard. Like just because a crit damage is under 100 doesn't mean it's not going to hit hard. and she has 56 pyro damage. And that's all there really is to note about Yanfei. Oh, apart from the 225 elemental mastery, which will increase her vaporize and melt damage by 38%. The other ones I don't use, so nothing to note there. The only other thing I might ever run Yanfei on is retracing bolide, just cause like I get a lot of pieces, so like it's eventually I might not. But that's it for Yanfei. Now we're up to Toma. Sweet, sweet Toma. Someone who I continuously wished on the Hu Tao banner for, that I thought was gonna be a good pyro damage character who I was so excited to find out he was a shielding character upon his release, because I didn't know that the live streams were a thing at the time, so I couldn't find out earlier, and was so excited to realize his damage was not as good as I thought it would be. Moving on. His weapon is Dragon's Bane, level 80 at refinement 3. Now, when we get to his artifacts, it looks like I haven't really used him. But here is where we run into an issue. I have one functional Crimson Witch of Flames set, and it took me 6 months to get good pieces. So since I finally got the finishing piece that was good for my Crimson set, I proceeded to never farm it again. One day I will go back, he will be on Crimson 4-piece, or potentially Crimson Noblesse. It really depends, but Toma can do good damage with his burst. His constellations are at C5, he is almost at C6. I got right up to C3 for the first banner that he was released in. The other two have just appeared along the way, and that's it. His talents are at 888. Now, his burst feels like it doesn't do a lot of damage, but when pairing him with Ayato, I haven't tried him again with Child to see how he works, but when you pair him with Ayato, pop Ayato's burst, Toma's burst, go back to Ayato, do the shing ching ting ting with his skill, you will find that Toma's damage adds up a lot. I have a notes thing here that I was testing. So first I tried the catch, and the catch overall did 78,000 damage with Toma's burst. And then I looked here at this skill, it says damage dent by Crimson Oyori's fiery collapse is increased by 2.2% of Toma's max HP. So let me try Black Tassel on him and see how that goes. He then did 83,000 damage, and this is added on a part of that, and then an extra 20k from his skill. And then we got to Dragon's Bane. Now when I tried Dragon's Bane, it dealt a total of 82,000 damage, but the Cryo Regisfine had died, and his burst had 12 seconds left in cooldown. Now I don't know how long his cooldown is. His cooldown is 20 seconds, and it was 8 seconds when the Regisfine died, which means I used it for a total of 8, which is the shield duration, but the extra pyro damage comes from the thing under, which is 15 seconds. So there was quite a bit of extra time in which Toma could have been dealing more damage, but he didn't. It will vaporize. I think every second hit is a vaporize. Every second hit was a vaporize, and the other one wasn't. When it didn't vaporize, it was kind of underwhelming, but when it did, it was like 6 to 8k in that range. and was overall really good, especially if you use him with a fast attacking character. It's really good and really nice to use. And I'm happy with this because I was on a mission to make Toma do damage. Overall, I loved him in the story, and I love this little outfit. I love the jacket. I think it's cute. It's nice, it's simple, his design is simple, and I like it. He is overall just a fun character. Now, I can't show you his stats because he just has random pieces on him. Scratch that. I went and put the set on for Toma so you could see. So his attack is only at 1200 and his EM is definitely overkill. If I remember correctly, the best amount I have on EM for Melt and Vaporize is 100. As you go over, there is a certain threshold you hit where the EM is no longer useful. I would have to go look it up again and see what it is, but off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it's 100. Could be wrong. So we go into the stats. He has 41% crit rate at this build and 158 crit damage. Not the worst, not the worst. His Elemental Mastery, 441, increasing damage caused by Vaporize and Melt by 66.6%. He has Energy Recharge of 130, which I guess is good because he has a very expensive burst cost. And he has 61.6% pyro damage. And that's all I have to say about Toma. Moving on to Xingqiu. I built Xingqiu for one reason and one reason only. I needed a support for Diluc. If not, this dude would have stayed at level 50. I do not like him. I'm sorry for being so harsh, but I just do not like Xingqiu. Don't know what it is. I did not enjoy him in his story quest at all, nor did I enjoy him in Lantern Rite. Don't like him. Don't try to change my mind about his character, because he's personally just not for me. If we look at his design, I love the sleeves. I think this puffy, fancy sleeve thing, I really like it. The shorts, not a fan of, and I think he should have longer shorts or just pants. Like, at least make the shorts come down mid-thigh. Because this is not it, my dude. For his weapon, we have Sacrificial Sword on him. For the energy recharge on this, very good, and if it procs and you go skill, you will earn enough to gain back his burst. His artifacts are just on a simple 2 Please Noblesse. I would like to see how high of a damage I could get with Xingqiu on the Pyrohypostasis, but not today. It's staying at this really bare bones artifacts. Like, one of them is not even at 20. It's not the best. It was just like, oh, yep, this will do. His constellations are at C1. I got Xingqiu off the Zhongli banner, which I was very grateful for because it narrowed down who to pick from Lantern Rite. From that, so it went from him, Chongyun, and Yunjin to just out of Chongyun and Yunjin. C1 I got from the Iridori Festival. Actually, the Iridori Festival was the only thing I liked him in. Every other appearance, I haven't liked him. Okay, I need to stop complaining about this dude. His talents, 188. I'm unsure if his normal attack is important for this. I literally don't know. I don't know how to make his rain swords do even more damage than 2k. Like, do his swords just not do that much damage? Oh, yeah, I'm looking at that multiplier and that is 86%. I probably should have just looked at that. Eventually I would get his normal attack up to 6, but not at the moment. And maybe I will one day get him to 80. I mean, if I really want to, I can definitely try, but at the moment I see no value in it. His stats, he is sitting at 47% crit rate and 109 crit damage with 178 recharge. His EM is useless to me, I don't care about it, but it's at 63. And he has 66% hydro damage bonus. That's all I have to say about Sington. Next we have Beidou. Beidou carried me very early on in the game. Now I need to mention this because this is very embarrassing and I'm just incredibly stupid. I didn't know what talents were until I was like AR50.
If you ever want to trade tactics, I'm always ready.
I completed the entirety of the story, which only consisted of like the Mondstadt Liyue, We Will Be Reunited, and Inazuma quests. I completed all of them with every single character having level 1 talents except the Traveler. I think the Traveler had like 1 leveled up talent from the tutorial where it teaches you about talents, and I fully forgot they existed until after that. So I was really struggling, and the fact that I almost completely completed the first three out of the 5 chambers.
Tactics, I'm always ready.
In the Labyrinth Warriors event with no leveled up talents is astounding. I am constantly shocked. But let's get into Beidou. Beidou doesn't really have much anymore. I don't use her very often, but I still think she's very cool. I just can't get behind the whole counter thing. I can never time it right. Don't know how to do it. But I think she's cool. She's another character with a missing eye. Where did she lose her eye? Why do so many characters have missing eyes? But I think she's cool. I really liked her in Lantern Rite and in the story.
If you ever want to trade tactics, I'm always ready.
I like this little cape thing she has going on. How is it staying on? No idea. But I think it's cool. I love the pirate vibes, the huge boots. Think they're cool. She's currently on Sacrificial Greatsword. Is this a good sword for her? I don't think so. I did at one point have her on Prototype Archaic. Realized that, hey, this is a good weapon. And gave it to Diluc. And then she had the fish for a while because I think it's funny because she's a pirate. She's using a huge fish as a sword. Hilarious. Artifact, she's on 4-piece gladiators because I have a lot of gladiators pieces, so I was like, well, you can just have them. You can hold them for me, Beidou. Constellations, she's at C6. She was not my first C6 character, she was my second one. I completed getting her at C6 on the Zhongli banner. I first got Beidou on the Noelle banner and got her on the standard banner in the same day. I thought every Beidou got a shield when you did burst. I did not realize that that was a C1 Beidou thing. I thought that every Beidou got that. So like there's that random tidbit. And her talents are currently at 699. The plan is probably 888. I'm just going for it, really sticking to my guns with getting almost every character's talents to like 6 or 8. She's halfway there. That's all I have to say about Beidou. There's not much else to say. Then we have Diona. Diona was the other person in my team who really carried me in the beginning. I love the whole bartending thing. I think it's funny. I love like the voice lines where it's like, can't handle your drink? And look at you, Boozand. I can't do a Diona impression, I'm sorry. She is built as a shielder and healer. So she has 26k max HP, and she's also at level 70. I think she's really sweet. I've done one ending of her hangout. Thought it was fun. I think it's hilarious how she is a bartender who has an absolute hatred for alcohol. As in, like, she wants to destroy the alcohol industry. I think it's funny. I love it. A fun character. She is currently sporting Favonius Warbow. Because this gives like a lot of energy, it's very helpful. I want to try her with Reek Earthbow. because it's a 3-star weapon that you get from Mondstadt chests. Oh, there's one guy in Inazuma, which is where I got it from because I used the bow to level up other weapons and didn't realize you couldn't get it from a banner. So I'm stupid. It's got HP % substat, which I want to get and use on Diona to test out her shield like even more. Her artifact she is running Maiden Beloved and Tenacity of the Millilith with HP. I value the shield over the healing more, hence why she doesn't have healing % bonus. Her constellations are at C2. C2 is where you will get basically like the co-op bit where you can give other people in co-op a shield as well. Her talents are at 677. I've just heard from people that technically 7 is like the cap for like the best increase in healing, as like her max HP doesn't get very high as you continue to level her and go up. But the plan is 688 overall anyway, and I would love to try a charge shot playstyle for funsies one day. I don't have Ganyu, so but I've got Diona, which is like basically the same thing. I'm kidding. I also didn't realize for the longest time that you could hold her skill, and it wasn't until I learnt about the talents and looked at it and went, holding cooldown? Why is there 2 different cooldowns? And I held it and the shield lasted for so much longer and I was like, what is this? The shield doesn't last for only 1 second? And then that's it. She's fun. There's not much else to say about her. I know that she gives a huge EM increase when she is C6, but I don't have C6, so I don't really care about that. Let's move on to Dear Sucrose. I love Sucrose, I do. I think she's fun, she's nice to use, gives a great EM boost, but I have beef with getting constellations, but we'll talk about that in a second. I am working on EM Sucrose. She was originally attack, animal damage, and crit damage. And if we look at her substats, you can still see remnants of that, that crit damage is really high, that crit rate is really low. And she still has animal damage bonus. But as you can see, she's currently at 465 elemental mastery, which increases swirl damage by over 300%. If we go into weapons, she is sporting the sacrificial fragments. Not only does this help with getting another charge of her skill should the weapon decide to proc, but also has better elemental mastery substat than Mapamare did. So once I got this one, I gave it to Sucrose and leveled it up. Her artifact, she's running 4 pieces of EV, very basic. Working on getting EM. I have 1 EM piece on her at the moment, another I need to level up, and then I just need to get 1 more in that final slot that's usually preserved for crit rate, crit damage. Her constellations. I am so annoyed about C1 Sucrose. Let me tell you a story. There's this new character that came out, his name was Ayato. I was like, great, I'm gonna get Ayato, I'm gonna get Sucrose constellations, this is gonna be so fun, maybe I'll get a Yunjin constellation. Do you know what I got? I think I got about 6 Zhonglings from that banner before I got anything else. I wished 80 times on that banner, and 6 out of the 8 4-stars I got were the same character. And then I eventually got Ayato, and then I got a Sucrose constellation. I was like, cool, I can stop wishing on that banner now, thanks. I literally just wanted C1. But it is what it is. Her talents are all done. I don't plan to raise these any more than they are. Like, that's it. And I am very interested in her design because her ears are so similar to Yaimiko. I'm like, where did you come from? And I have a video that will probably be the next one after this, talking about Sucrose, because there are some interesting things I have to say about her and some really suspicious things going on with her that I think are meant to fly under our nose and under the radar, but can't catch me. I'm onto you, Sucrose. I love her design. I love the little, like, what even is this? It's like a little jumpsuit, well, play suit, because it's not full pant leg, like a play suit. And I'm not sure about this little fabric at the back, but I think it's cool. I love the like little stocking vibe that's going on along with these boots. I think it's cool. But that's all I have to say about Sucrose. Next is Mona. We're finally up to another 5-star. I got Mona on standard banner after I got Jean. Not directly after, but like Jean was my first standard banner 5-star, and then it was Mona. I don't have much to say about it. I love her hat. I think it's cool. I wish people would stop mentioning that Scaramouche can't be playable because of his hat when, what is this? She's not even the only character to have a hat this big. I don't think the hat is an issue. I don't really know a lot about Mona though. I have her on her original thing. I don't have anything against this one either. I like this one as well. But I'm just so used to this one. I'm like, nah. I'm just going to keep the original because I can. Also, that's Lisa's constellation, by the way. It took me a while to figure out what it was, but then I did, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Jean's also shows up in her idol. Onto weapons, she has Skyward Atlas. It's only at 60, refinement 1. I got this off standard banner. It's cool, it's whatever. And then we move on to artifacts. She's currently on a 4-piece noblesse. I have tried her with a Heart of Death Wanderer's Troop set before for like just to see how much her burst hit. It hit over 100k. I was very impressed. I was like, okay, cool. I'll do almost every other 5-star I have. Fine, thanks. Now constellations. She's C1. I got this like 9 or 10 wishes after I got C1. No, I got this 9 or 10 wishes after I got her. Very shocked, very confused. I was like, what? But she's not the earliest 5-star I've gotten. Actually, I think it was closer to 20. It was really close. It was really close in that range, and I was very shocked. And her talents are at 117. I originally started raising her because I thought she might be good for Yanfei, but her skill doesn't last as long and isn't as good as I thought it would be. So I haven't continued to raise her much else yet, but I kept continuing her burst for that like damage bonus thingy. The plan is 6 and then 8 or 9, depending on how things go, the resources, and just overall whatever. And I will probably keep her on Noblesse, and then if I want to do DPS, it'll be Heart of Depth, Noblesse, 2-piece. We are almost done, by the way. Well, not almost. I think we've got like 10 characters left. Next up is Ayaka. I got Ayaka 9 pulls after I got Ayato. Let me talk about this because I didn't want this character. And you may be thinking, why did you wish on a banner you didn't want a character for? I will tell you. So I got Ayato. I did enough more wishes so I could get the 4-star.
Its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Thank you for cutting me off. So I could get off another 4-star, which ended up being Sucrose, and I was like, cool, thanks, I can stop wishing now. And then I got 2 extra wishes I'm pretty sure, from leveling up the Lumen Spa thingy, the Lumen Spa Adjuvant. So I went, let me use this, because I prefer to keep my Primo Gems as Primo Gems until it is time to wish. So I did the first one and I was like, yeah, blue, that's what I expected. Did the second one and it turned to gold.
Blade embraces its duty.
And my first thought was, please be Chi-Chi, please be Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is all I want. And no, I won the 50-50 and I got Ayaka. And I originally was not planning to level her up, but it annoyed a lot of the people in co-op I told about getting Ayaka. So I went, fine, I will raise her. And let's get into it. Let's discuss Ayaka's build, because she literally only just reached 70 today. She's currently sitting at a 54% crit rate with 134% crit damage, but she is on 4-piece Blizzard, which means she gets an extra 40% when dealing with frozen enemies, which means when she attacks a frozen enemy, she has 94% crit rate. 94% crit rate. This is insane. And then there's not much else. She has a bit of energy recharge along with cryo damage.
As a jeweler,
her weapon is not that. Her weapon is the flute. I quickly changed it to what I actually should be having her on. Her weapon is the flute, because you may be thinking, just craft the Inazuma weapon. I already have, but someone else is using that. If I am not using them, Ayaka will get it, but if I am using them, like, they have it. They take priority over Ayaka. I am not crafting another one and leveling it up, so I have 2 level 90s of them. That is a no from me. The weapon will be refined, but I will not be leveling extra ones up. Her artifacts, already mentioned, 4-piece Blizzard. Her constellations are at 0, and her talent is 667. Some other things to say about Ayaka. I really enjoyed her story quest, and the dance thing she did at the end I thought was so beautiful. I sat there doing the quest, taking a million screenshots, because I was like, this is beautiful. Go girl, show us this little dance. I love it. I loved your story. I'm willing to fight in this rebellion with you now. Sign me up. I'm ready to go. But I don't really have much else to say about her. I didn't want her and I got her, and it's, oh well. Like, it happens. And then after I got Ayaka, I went, screw it. I will go for constellations on these other 2 characters. Other characters now, in which I got 2 Razor constellations, and now I've stopped wishing. Okay, hang tight, because we have 11 characters left, and like, I think this is our last 70, or our second last 70 character. So we're getting into the juicy builds now. So from Ayaka, we then switch to Noelle. Noelle is amazing. Like, that's all I have to say. I love her outfit, the whole like armor thing with like her legs and her gloves. Really cool. Noelle becoming an official knight when she deserves it. I don't really have much else to say about her. Her healing is phenomenal. It's great. Her defense is almost at 2,000 and her attack is at 1,000. If we look at her stats, the elemental mastery is useless on her, because who is using crystallize for shields? Not very many people. Her crit rate, not very good either, at 25%. Her crit damage at 153%. Energy recharge is low, and Noelle has energy issues as she's not producing any energy for herself. You really do need like a battery for her. And her geo damage bonus is at 46%. If we take a look at her weapons, she is sporting the White Blind at Refinement 1, level 80. It's a defense weapon, it's free, craftable, super easy. If you had all the billets for it wouldn't be that hard to get it to refine in 5. I don't have enough resources for that though. Her artifact set is at Husk of Opulent Dreams. This was going to be my Ito set, but I didn't get Ito. Let's not talk about that. There's really not much else to say. Now we move on to constellations. I have her at C3. I believe she was on the Albedo and You'll banner, and that is where I got all her constellations from, I'm pretty sure. If we look here, C1 is really good. So if you have both her burst and her skill up at the same time, you'll have 100% healing chance to heal every single hit. So C1, very good. C2 increases charged attack damage and decreases stamina consumption. C3 is just a talent upgrade. She's currently sitting at 7, 11, 7. The plan is to get them like 8, 8, 8. If I'm correct, her shield should be, her shield is done. It's just her normal attack and her burst I need to get up. I am running her on defense, geo damage bonus, and crit. Technically, you should be running her on attack, geo damage, and crit if you don't have C6 Noelle, but I completely ignored that when I use her for healing. She's like my quote-unquote emergency DPS in Abyss. If everyone is looking really low, I will switch to Noelle, pop burst and skill at the same time, spin and heal everyone, while also doing like a little bit of damage, which is helpful, because a healer that can do damage is very helpful in those kinds of situations. So that's it for Noelle. She was also on my OG team. So you have seen Beto, Noelle, Diona. Diona and Noelle were constantly swapped out as they were both healers and shielders. But let's continue. Now we get to my first level 80 character, which was Xiangling. I got C6 Xiangling in 2.4. When finally being able to max out the Sakura tree, I used my free wish from that and got the final constellation of Xiangling. I hadn't even built her at the time, so I went, oh, I should probably build her. I only use her in Child National Team. That is the only time I use her. I do not use her for anything else other than that. She is sporting the catch. She has She has 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. Bare bones, this was like, finally I got a crit rate one. Good, this is going on her. I got attack finally. I think it's attack or it might be ER. Oh, it's ER, it's energy. And then constellations, I already mentioned C6. Her talents are at 1, 10, 12. Eventually we'll get her normal attack to 6. Raise school bar up another level and probably leave it at that. If we look at her stats, she is sitting at 19% crit rate, which is not the best, and 143 crit damage with over 200 energy recharge, 46 pyro damage. She does have a bit of elemental mastery coming in at 157, which definitely helps with the vaporizers she is doing, and she can hit really well, especially if you have like a crimson noblesse and you're running her with Child for that consistent vaporize. It's really good. Loved her story quest, and I think she's really fun. I just didn't raise her out of spite, I guess, out of annoyance. It was nothing against her character, I was just annoyed I kept getting her. And then after that whole Ayato Sucrose fiasco, I still get annoyed sometimes when I see her and I'm like, why did I need to have you at technically now C12? I didn't. But it happened. I love Guba, and I love the Moon Chase Festival with her. I thought it was so fun. I was so shocked that Guba was actually previously a god. I was like, excuse me? This was a really fun twist in my opinion, and I went amazing. That is really cool. Her design, I'm not the biggest fan of her outfit, but I enjoy all the reds and the yellows along with her blue hair. I think the color choice is really nice, but I'm just not a fan of the whole clothing thing. I feel like she should be wearing more. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Xiangling. Now we get on to Diluc. Diluc was my first 5-star character, and I got him on the Raiden Shogun banner. I really tried for Raiden Shogun. I was powering through, collecting all these chests to get wishes for Raiden Shogun. Didn't end up getting her, obviously. I got Diluc. And at first I was annoyed, but like obviously I was like, let me try out new character, gotta go try them out, and I was shocked. When I tell you I was shocked when I used his burst for the whole time and there was an animation, I was like, what is this? No one has ever mentioned that characters had animations with their bursts. I was taken aback, I was so shocked, I was like, what is this? I have never seen this happen before. And I hadn't previously used Barbara, who has an animation despite being a 4-star, so I was in shock. I was taken aback. I was like, what? This is amazing. So obviously I proceeded to level him up after this because I was amazed. He is currently sharing a set with Toma. I've just put his set on so you can see. Now we look at his stats. He has 60% crit rate to 158% crit damage, which is kind of a good ratio. Like, maybe more crit rate would be good, but it's good. 240 EM as I use him with Signature, so he is getting... It's more valuable for me to have him on EM than attack. His weapon, already mentioned, is the prototype Archaic. I like it. It's a good weapon. It's very helpful. I don't have Wolf's Gravestone. Otherwise, maybe I'd probably give it to him, but I don't have it. As mentioned, same set as Toma, so he just has 4-piece Crimson with the Sands. Is that what it is? Yeah, the Sands being Elemental Mastery. I have no constellations for him, and his talents are at 889. I am tempted to get him all to 9, but I just haven't done that yet. His story quest was fun. I thought I was so smart for figuring out that he was the Dark Knight hero before he said it himself. I now realize, like, obviously that was so obvious. And like the cutscenes in his story quest I really loved. Thought was so cool. But yeah, that's Diluc. I don't have much else to say. I don't use him very often. I find a lot of my other characters kind of outdo him, but he has a special place in my heart. Now we're on to Ayato. This man did not want to come home forever, but he came home and I won a 50-50, so I'm very happy about that. He is sporting the Aminoma Kagayushi, and it looks so good on him. The one thing I don't like is how long his sleeves are. It's like a semi-pet peeve just of the length of them, but like obviously not that important with the detail. I like the all white. I think it looks really cool. Must be a pain to wash though. His artifacts is Echoes of an Offering. Now technically Echoes of an Offering is not a good choice for me on the ping I am. People have tested it out and find that it works better when you actually are like in the green for your ping, which I never am. My internet is not that good. But he's on that. His constellation is at 0 and his talents are 888. I had farmed for him since they released what materials he used. I already had boss materials because I think I'm gonna fight the Hydra boss and collect all the materials so I can level up heaps of characters. Got 48 of those boss materials before I realized, wait a minute, this is for Kokomi. This is not the Oceanid. Fuck. There's not really much else to say about Ayato. He works really well with both Ayaka, and if you want to pair him with Toma, he works really well. He will not be the one vaporizing, but he's still good regardless. Another thing to mention, his normal attack does not affect his skill, which a lot of people thought it was, but it didn't. There's not really much else to say about Ayato. I do love the boba idol animation he has, and in regards to his story quest, it wasn't the greatest. Like, I enjoyed it. I really wanted those two NPCs to get married. I was so happy for them. And then they didn't, and I got very annoyed. Have I shown his... I don't think I showed his stats. He is sitting at a very embarrassing 17% crit rate with 190% crit damage, a little bit of energy recharge, and 46% hydro damage bonus. And that's it for Ayato. Next is Miss Yamiko. I did not want Miss Yamiko. I was trying to get official constellations. Whoops, I guess. I think her build is like okay. I think she would really benefit from having Raiden on a team with her, or having C6 Sarah, both of which I don't have, but oh well. Taking a look at her stats, she has 69% crit rate and 103 crit damage, with 61% electro damage bonus. For her catalyst, she has the Enkanomiya event weapon, which is Oathsworn Eye. I like it, it's good. I have tried her on other things and it's kind of worked out alright, but so far this is my best pick for it, especially because it gives that extra energy recharge. And I think she has the highest burst cost, or yeah, at 90 she has like the highest burst cost. So that energy recharge goes a long way. For artifacts, she has a 2-piece Thundering Fury in Gladiators. There's nothing remarkable about this. She's at C0, and her talents are 888, and I think I will leave it there. She was the first character I ever won a 50-50 on, and I proceeded to win my 2 other 50-50s after her, which is nice. I like her design though. I think she's really cool. I have beef with her character though. She appeared in so many things. The Archon quest, both of A's story quests. She appears in Goro's quest thingy. I swear she appears in other things as well, and she has her own quest, and I got tired of seeing her. By the time she was released, I was so tired of seeing Miss Yamiko anywhere. We saw her more than the own Archon of the region, and I was tired. I was like, please, just leave me alone. But she's nice, like I like her. Just not the biggest fan of her. The voice actor for her is really good, I like it. Next we move on to Benny.
Benny's adventure team, assemble!
He's a fun character. He has so much potential, whether you want just healing, DPS, a buff. Like he hits 15k on his crits with his burst, which is insane because he is not built like an attack character at all. Take a look at his stats. He's sitting at 13% crit rate with 81% crit damage, 35% healing bonus, and 224 energy recharge, which is very nice. No extra elemental bonuses. His weapon is the Favonius Sword at Refinement 1 for all of the energy recharge. His artifacts is just a simple Noblesse with HP, healing bonus. His constellation is at 3. I am umming and ahhing about whether I want C6 Bennett or not. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things. I kind of want a buffing character to the same capabilities as Bennett in terms of how high the increase is before I C6 him, but we'll find out. I'm nowhere near C6 yet, so So his talents are at 559. I plan on crowning this. This burst is insane. The buff it gives is amazing. And he is a staple of my teams. He currently heals at about, I think, 5 to 6k per heal, which is really good, and he is by far my best healer, with Noelle behind him on healing capabilities. I feel bad for him with all his bad luck, but I think he's so fun. I think the bad luck is a bit sus though. Like, it feels suspicious that this kid has been through so many bad situations, despite that is still alive. And I saw someone write a fan fiction once where Bennett, his luck was like actually a good thing because all these bad things happened to him, but if these bad things didn't happen to him, like he would have died or had like worse things happen to him. And I wonder if you can apply that to Canon Bennett and whatnot. I love his design. I think it's very fun. It really does speak adventure, but he hasn't appeared in anything I've played. Oh no, I take that back. He was in the Albedo event, and we meet him in the Albedo event because he got locked up by Fatui on Dragonspine, and he almost got like washed away from an avalanche. The poor guy, but he's fun. I really recommend building him just because he is such an insane support. Moving on, we have Kaya. Kaya was my first main, and he stayed my main for the longest time. I don't use him anymore though. I want a different weapon to put on him before I start using him again. I'm not a fan of what he has at the moment, but I love everything about this character. His story is so interesting. The thing with him and D-Luke and that whole fight, his origins, like how much does he know and remember? And I have an interesting theory about him not actually being a spy that I wanna discuss. But the thing that interests me a lot is like all these like 4-point star motifs on him. They appear a lot on a few other people as well, and I think it's interesting. I think he will have a big involvement at the end of the story. Like, I really do. But let's look at his weapon, is Prototype Runecore. This was like a free weapon you got when you hit like AR20 or something, I can't remember. It was just like a free one you got. So it was my first like proper weapon, so I gave it to him. And now he has it, despite the fact I don't run physical Kaya. I want to do like the skill and burst only, but his physical attacks still do something because of that. He is currently on a 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. This set is not very good though. Constellations are nada. I have no constellations for him. His talents are at 888. Now, if we take a look at his stats, he has 37 elemental mastery. Probably should be higher if I want to run him on like melt or anything. 14% crit rate with 143 crit damage. The crit rate would be 55 if I run him with freeze. His energy recharge is 138 with a cryo damage of 61% and a physical damage of 34%. He was my first main. He holds a special place in my heart, but I don't really have much else to say about him. Now we get on to Child. Mr. Tartaglia, Ajax, if you will, my pride and joy of builds. I have sunk so much into building him, and he is by far my favourite character ever. I am so fascinated by his backstory, just like who he is as a person. Now if we take a look at his stats first, we can see that he currently has 206 elemental mastery, giving him damage increase of 35% for Vaporize and Melt, 27% crit rate, and 177 crit damage, with a little bit of recharge and 90% Hydra damage. We go on to his weapon, which is currently an R3 Rust. I dislike that it decreases charged attack damage bonus, and I had built the Hamayumi bow. I wanted to see what he would be like with that stat and that bow instead. It wasn't the greatest, so I've stuck to Rust even when doing a charge shot playstyle. I want to do recurve bow because Heal a child. Defeating an opponent restores 8% of HP. It just sounds so funny. Go into his artifacts, which is a 2-piece set. Despite the usual set that people do, which is just a 4-piece of Heart of Depth, or a 4-piece or a 2-piece of Heart of Depth and Noblesse, I have gone for Wondrous Troop and Heart of Depth. Now, I want to take a delve into why. First of all, like, that extra elemental mastery is very important with reaction based builds, which he is. I've vape with him a lot. I use Vaporize. So this first piece, a lot of these pieces I had like straight away to give him without farming, and these have like stayed the whole time, which is like this piece, which has 2.7 crit rate, which isn't very high, but 21% crit damage. The feather is Heart of Depth. This is a relatively new feather with 24% crit damage, some attack percent, and HP. Then this is our other Heart of Depth piece, which has 9.7% crit rate and a lot of defense percent. It's not the best, but I need two pieces for the set bonus. And then we get his Goblet, which is also Wondrous Troop, giving us 63 elemental mastery, energy recharge substat, defense substat, and 20% crit damage. And then his crit damage circlet, which is 62.2% with a crit rate of 10.5% and 63 elemental mastery with 2 attack substats as well. I probably could change this to something else if I had something better with good crit substats. Like, there's definitely potential in the future to do that, but for now it's staying like this. Now, constellations are C0. He is the only character I contemplate getting another constellation with. For this, it decreases the cooldown of Foul Legacy Raging Tide by 20%. It's a really good quality of life one, rather than like big damage. The only other one I would want literally is the one for his burst. I would also want that, but that is at C5, and that is ridiculous. Like, I would never get that unless I got 5 of him and 1 temple. Like, that is dreaming. Now on to talents. He's currently sitting at 9/9/10, but what his passive increases your own party member's normal attack by 1, which means this is also increased and is technically level 8. And as you can see, I have crowned his skill, and it is beautiful. It is amazing. The plan is triple crown him. I'm not there yet. I don't even think I have any purple books. No, I have 2. I have like everything else for it, just not the books or the Mora. Now let me get into why I pulled for Tartaglia. At the beginning of the game, I forgot the part where he was like, yeah, I'm a bad guy. Like, yeah, I'm not good. You know, like the line, hear me out, I'm not a bad guy. Okay, I'm kind of a bad guy. Like, that's him. I forgot that part, and I was like, every single time I would log on, do part of the quest, I'd be like, this man is so nice for helping us. Like, he's so sweet. Look at him go, and just helping us out. And then the Osile thing happened, and I was like, you fucker. Excuse me? What do you mean you're gonna sink Liwen now? I thought you were good, and I felt so betrayed. But I thought it would be funny to pull him, because me and my friend at the time, who I don't play with anymore, but at the time we like played daily together, we would talk about how much we hated him. So I just thought it would be funny to try get him. And then when I got him, I logged on their world, and I was like, guess who I just got? Ta-da! They didn't have the reaction I thought. I thought it would be funnier, but it wasn't. And I don't regret it. I do regret the fact that it took 88 wishes to get him when I had him guaranteed. I like his outfit a lot. A lot of people complain. I like it. I love the whole scarf thing. And the mask is very interesting to me because it's based off, the Harbingers are based off the Commedia dell'arte, which is an old Italian comedy format. And I studied that when I did drama in high school, and I was like, sick, this is awesome. But that's all I have to say about him. He has a very interesting backstory, and I recommend you learn about it. It's so fascinating. But now we move on to Zhongli, the Jir
Osmanthus
Archon.
wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Thank you. He looks so elegant. He is amazing. I stopped wishing for Ito. I did about 63 wishes on the Ito banner, trying to get him and Goro. Didn't get either. And then Zhongli was announced on the live stream. They were like, surprise! Zhongli is also here. And I was like, oh, sorry Ito. I probably could have gotten Ito too, but I was like, no, I am off to go get this guy. And so I did. I started saving.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
And I do not regret it, and I love that voice line so much. Take a look at his stats. He currently has 26,000 HP, along with 59% crit rate and 122 crit damage. He has 75% geo damage bonus and 25% physical damage bonus.
Osmanthus wine tastes the...
He's currently sporting Black Tassel at refinement 5, level 90. The refinement really isn't that important. I am rarely battling slimes. His artifacts, he is running a Bloodstained Chivalry and Noblesse piece. These Bloodstained pieces will eventually go to Xinyan when I find good Archaic Petra pieces to replace them with, which I currently don't have, so he still has the extra physical damage bonus on him. And I started farming these when the day he was announced, along with like everything else, and when I got him, I instantly raised him all the way to 80. And I have done that with almost every 5-star I've gotten. Tartaglia, I burned through so much resin. Especially on the Oceanid, I just went screw it. I am fighting this all in one day. Used up all my resin on that. And then that was that. For Yaimiko, I did the same thing. I waited till I had every single boss material and leveled her up after that. Same with Ayato and almost the same with Ayaka. I got tired of waiting for everything and just leveled up as much as I could now. He used to have, when I did this, I wasn't sure what weapon to give him, and at the time my 4-star weapons haven't changed. I made the Crescent Pike for him, and he used to also have this on. He doesn't anymore, but he used to. Constellations, nothing. His talents are at 889. I like the meatball so much. And one of the reasons I love Zhongli so much is because of his voice actor, who is the same voice actor for Hawkmoth. I don't watch Ladybug Miraculous that often, but I just think it's funny. And then we get on to the final character, the Traveler. I was very loyal to building the Traveler and having the Traveler on my team, and my teams used to always consist of the Traveler, 3 other people. So my team used to consist of the Traveler, Kaya, Beto, and then Noelle or Diona. And then it changed to D-Luke, Kaya, the Traveler, and Bennett, and then eventually I got Child, and then from there it's just continued to evolve and change over time. And now I run many different teams, constantly changing. So if we look at his stats, they're not very high, 14 crit rate, 74 crit damage. His weapon is Sword of Dissension, but it's only effective on PlayStation, so I need to change it. Looking at the weapons here, every character currently has a 4-star weapon. Like eventually, like this can change and I'll switch out characters for different weapons, but at the moment this is how it is. He will probably share the flute with Ayaka. His artifacts, I'm either gonna stick with a gladiators, switch to echoes of an offering, or do 18%. I want to keep the traveler having the same build regardless of element and just switch out the goblets. So I need to find something that will work for that, like as their main DPS. His constellations are C6, obviously. Everyone gets C6 traveler eventually. Nothing you have to pull for. His talents, talents are difficult, so expensive, and it's hard to keep track of it element to element. I wrote it down somewhere what he had. So this one obviously it's 255, or for Geo it's just 144, and then for Electro it's also 255. They require so many books, so many different books. I didn't realize that they used like every single book or something similar, but the plan is 888 of every single skill, and eventually I will get back to using the Traveler. That's it for all my characters. You can see an overview here. Some interesting things to note. I've maxed out the teapot. I have some of the exclusive furniture, like the snowman. Like, you got stuff from Lantern, right? There are a few ones from the Iridori festival, and there's some flowers and whatnot too that were event exclusive, apparently. And then here I have a billet thing, so I can choose which one. I am saving this for when I really need one. I have maxed out all the Geoculus along with the Dragonspine tree. Almost finished the chasm one. I just have one more level to go. I have the hunting traps from Razor's story quest. I don't have the money from Child's part in the Archon quest. I have a few sigils, resin, furniture speeding up thing, Dream Solvent, which I've only used like once or twice, and this stuff that can be brought to change. The elemental crystals that I got from the Paimon shop right at the beginning of Stardust. We have like the quest items. I don't think these are very important to go through, except maybe these ones, which were stories. And this one is really cute because it's Klee's story and includes pictures. Oh, and it's Let's Go Dodoko. And I thought that was very adorable. Here we have gadgets. I have the food menu thing, the seed dispenser along with like the camera, the launch tube from the fireworks, the obvious ones. I have the zither, and I have the Windsong Lyre, which you can buy from Marjorie. I have all of the fishing rods, including the event one. And Shiki Kosho is a pet. And I have some of the nets. We look here, and I have quite a few billets. I'm planning on crafting every single craftable weapon. I'm not quite there yet, because I need to actually go farm the crystals for it. And then saving for when Sumeru comes out, crafting those craftable weapons, should craftable weapons come with Sumeru, and then I will go into starting to refine them. Food, nothing really to note. I mean, I have like 38 of Razor's specialty food. I think that's like the only interesting thing to note, along with I think the recipe might have been event exclusive, but this is the drink from the Iridori festival. In here, there's like drops. If we look here, I have a lot of boss drops. I'm trying to figure out, I need to figure out like how many Dvalin drops I would need if I was to triple crown every character that required them, so I can figure out how many is the max and when to stop. I obviously don't know what that is yet, along with like work that out with every other boss. Signora's drops are the ones I have used the least, I think, but they're also the ones I used Dream Solvent on because I had planned to level up Goro and Ito a lot when I got them. and I didn't get them. A few boss drops. As you can see, I have like leftover things. Should Kokomi ever come, like I can get started on that. She's the only character that needs that one. That I used to have 46 of these, started leveling up Ayaka, and I'm slowly refarming them for Goro. I have a few talent books, not very many though, weapon things, and 12 crowns. Artifacts, I have 484, not much to note, and most of these are gold as well, because I just refuse to get rid of them. I will clear them out when I hit max. And then we get on to weapons. There are a few weapons that no one uses anymore. Like this used to be Noelle's weapon, and then eventually I crafted White Blind. And this used to be Zhongli's weapon, but now no one uses it, and I don't know who would use this. Yep, and the bell, and I got Rain Slasher again. I have quite a few 3-star ones. In the beginning, I used every 3-star weapon to level up other weapons. I have since realized that there were ones that were chest exclusive, and I have gotten a few of the Leeware ones. Not enough to R5 them though, which is very annoying, and I would have liked to have them R5'd. But we get what we get. This comes from Cheng the Sharp, I'm pretty sure, in Liyue. If you talk to him, you can get it. Along with this guy, there's a officer dude in Inazuma, right next to Teleport, which will give you that. I have a lot of Mystic Enhancement ores. I have been farming them constantly. Wish-wise, you could see I have 1,500 Primo Gems, and for the final part of this video, I thought I would go through and share which characters I plan to get. So, as you can see, here are all my owned characters. Shinha depends. If I feel like I can justify getting a support, cryo support, then yes, I will get her. Depends on who's running before, who's running after. Ito is a definite yes. Goro is a definite yes. If I get him, I will be triple crowning him, running him as DPS. I don't care if you think he should be support. I want the doggy general so much. Kokomi is a no from me. I have a lot of healers. They all work very well for the ones that I already have built. Raiden Shogun is like a possible, a maybe. Yoimiya is a yes, but I have Pyro DPSs already. She's in the same vein as Klee. Pros and cons, like I have them.
So heavy.
Like I have characters that could fill the same thing, but I think they're cool. Especially Klee, I love her design. And we got Kazuha. I was planning on getting Kazuha when he reruns next, but now I'm thinking the rerun after and saving for Sumeru characters. Eula is a no from me. I don't like Eula. I found her story quest so boring, and I'm not a fan of her physical playstyle. Like I have Razor, don't need Eula. Rutal, it's a no from me. Zhao is a possible. I have artifacts that would probably be really, really good on him, and the set only benefits him. So it's like I probably would get you depending on like when you're running. Ganyu is a yes, Albedo is a yes. Venti for Archon collection purposes, yes. Chi-Chi, I want this little zombie one to come home. Chongyun, well, yeah, eventually I'll get him. Even if it means wishing on a character banner that I don't like again, just to try get him, I'll do it. Future characters, Scaramouche, I feel like he will be playable and he will be mine. Along with Baiju, pharmacist from Boo Boo Pharmacy, the Dendro guy. They probably will release him when they release Dendro, so I would like him. Along with Sino. He is the guy who appears in the Travail trailer for Sumeru, and he also appears in the manga. Haven't read the manga, but he appears in there and I probably should read it. But I want him, his design looks awesome. I feel like there's someone else I'm forgetting. But that's it. thank you for watching. I've been playing this game for just under 10 months, a little over I think, I'm unsure, and I think I've made good progress. My plan is to raise talents. I'm just gonna hone in, get all the world bosses and talent domains done, raise them, and then fuss around with artifacts because I am tired of farming for artifacts. But this is it. I will remake this video if I make some huge progress that I want to share, or if it's been some time and you're interested in another one, just let me know and I will share what I have to share. If you would like any build guides or like testing out teams and different ways to play characters, like let me know and I will test it out. If you recommend me weird teams, like I'll test it out even if the characters aren't leveled, because if one thing has taught me, a good team can get you further than a team of high level characters that don't work well together. Take Xingqiu and Sayu both being level 50 with low weapon and low artifacts on a team with Diluc and Zhongli getting me higher than, I think my team at that time was Diluc, Beidou, Zhongli and Bennett. It got me a lot higher than that did, and they were all raised, and at that point Beidou had artifacts. So that's it, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!